Hey, thank you so much for investing in yourself, investing in this program, but more importantly, investing in the life and wanting the external factor to represent the internalness of who you are. Again, my name is Cameron Gilmore. Let me give you a little bit of backstory about myself. From 2012 to 2014, I went through a long custody battle for my 4 beautiful children. During that time, I had to really work on keeping my mind and my emotions in check. I also had to keep on moving forward. I had to keep on progressing. But also importantly, I had to keep my body and my spirit in line with what I was trying to accomplish, which was build a better version of myself. I couldn't use the same version or the older version or the version of myself that had brought me to the space that where I was at. And because of that, because of me going through a 2-year-long custody battle, it was time for me to really hone in and focus in on who I am as a man, as a father, and as a future husband. At the time, obviously, I wasn't thinking about I'm going to be this future husband for somebody. I was not at all. I just wanted to get my children. That's all I was focused on. But in this space, in that space that I was looking at internally, my internal self was not nearly a reflection of my external self. Externally, I was okay. I was still in somewhat good shape. I ate decently okay. But internally, I had this fight going on. There were plenty of bouts of depression, plenty of bouts of not wanting to continue on with life. And there were plenty of bouts with, man, I do not understand why this is happening to me. I'm a good person. I've been faithful. I've never cheated at all. I'm a God-fearing individual. So I had to understand, why was this happening to me? And that's what I kept saying for a long time. Why is this happening to me? Why is this not happening to somebody else who would fit the mold of what a divorced single father would look like? And what is that mold? That's a great question. The mold has different functions and different fixtures. That mold is not the same mold that I was a part of. And that mold is not what you who invested in this is not a part of. So we need to make that very clear. What I did and how I was able to springboard myself into this newness, this openness. There's a word in Navajo. I'm half Navajo and half Scottish. There's a word in Navajo that I have built my entire businesses and also personal development and also the coaching off of, and it's called Hózhó. Hózhó means mind, body, soul, and beauty. The balance of it all. Balance of your mind, balance of your body, balance of your soul, and that will exponentially grow into the beautiful form that you are. Really what we're trying to do, really what I was trying to do, was call into my future self to my present self. I was attracting my future self to where I am today, where I was in 2014. And then I kept continuing to call into myself. How can I bring my future self to where I am today? How could I bring my future self to the person that I see today? How could I allow my future self to teach my current self how to move into a space that's plentiful and beautiful, but more importantly, somebody that I would be comfortable sharing my light with, and somebody that I would be comfortable going out in public with, somebody that I'd be comfortable being in a new space with, somebody that I would be comfortable enough to have a conversation with. See, during that period of time, I was not pleasant to be around. Oh, sure, I laughed and put on that face, but I truly was not pleasant to be around, because the process of why is this happening to me was all that I thought about. That was the course that I was going down. That was the function of my brain. That was the neurochemical firing, was this is happening to me. Why? So instead of using that why, I developed this new why. What is my why? How can I develop a new, better why and a newer why? So that's what this whole program, that's what this 30 for 30 was birthed from, was asking a simple question. So what I understood is playing sports. I played sports most of my life. I continue to love and watch and support sports teams. And one thing that I found very interesting was, if you've ever been to a sporting event, if you've ever been to a conference, if you've ever been to a concert, if you've ever been to a recital, if you've ever been to a place that there's a large gathering, there's always one thing in common. And that commonality is this. That commonality is the music that they play. It's always hype. It's always this uplifting. It's always this energetic. It's always this music that tries to get everybody into the same flow, which is a happiness, blissfulness, joyfulness. That's what it's trying to do. So then I started to think to myself, how could I use music to activate something in my life, activate the portion of my brain that said it's time to get to business? The RAS, the reticular activated system. How could I get that to fire and function? How could I get that to put me in a space where I was going to live in abundance? So what I learned was that there's a word called oligodendrocytes. Now listen, I have tried to say this word over and over. It took me about 2.5 months to say it correctly, oligodendrocyte. Now, what is this oligodendrocyte? It's also known as myelin or maline. So think of it this way. Think of a highway that there's no dotted lines, that there's no direction, that there's none of it. There's just this firing of cars back and forth, complete chaos. That's often what happens with our brain when it's firing. These neurons are firing this electric pulse, boom, 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 and it's shooting. What we need to do is we need to coat around the neuron, or in the freeway, we need to make a division. One way, the other way. Then we also need to make dotted lines in the row. Then we also need to put up barriers. And that's what this oligodendrocyte does. It's the coating around the electrical firing. And what it does is it takes this firing where it's chaos and it gives it a point of direction. A starting and an ending. And it says, I'm going to fire here, fire here. And that's what we're going to do. That's why we learn about the word oligodendrocyte. So how do I encompass or scope the oligodendrocyte to where it's going to be beneficial for us, me and you? So what I learned was, how could I use music to get my brain and my mind and my emotions ready for what I was about to do? So the first thing I did was, what is my hype song? What is that song that gets me in the space of saying, okay, body and mind, we are getting ready to move into a powerful direction? So I started to think and study and said, what is that song for me? What is that song that is going to elevate me? What is that song when I hear it being played, my brain starts to hear this bell, Pavlov's theory, the bell starts to go off. And my brain is trained, oh, it's time to get ready because something big is about to happen. So my hype song for the longest time has been and continues to be 50 Cent. If I can't do it, no one can. That is the hype song for me. Now, I will inject other songs in there. Some of my favorite artists that I love, Tupac Shakur, which I believe is the greatest rapper ever. Now, that's a whole other debate, but this is what we're here for. Tupac Shakur, All Eyes on Me. And when my brain hears this song, my brain knows it starts to go. And when it starts to go, that the dopamine starts to fire. But because I have built this massive coating around that highway, the brain knows where to send it. The brain knows, okay, this is what we're doing. And there's a snap. Before I started recording anything, I listened to 50 Cent. I listened to Tupac Shakur. So you ask, why do we need a hype music? Because you need to get in that state of flow. You need to get into that state of music that brings the joy and happiness. You need to start to activate your RAS, again, your reticular activated system. If you don't believe me, go listen to the words of my digital mentor, Ed Milet. Go listen to the words of my digital mentor, Dan Martell. Go listen to my digital mentor, Mel Robbins. They will all talk about reticular activated system. Amazing. Get you in the space and get you moving, okay? Ed Milet had a beautiful podcast with Dr. Carol Zawicki. I believe that's how you say it. If not, we'll make sure we get it right. And she gets into the deep space of it. So in the simplistic way is we're going to build our hype music. The first thing you want to do is figure out if you're on Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever, create your playlist. The first song you need to find is, what is my hype music? That is the first song that you play. It's a song that you can listen to and get going. The second thing is what we call our focus music. So now we're focused, right? So now we're getting in, the brain knows we're about to achieve something great. We're about to do something great. We're about to get into that space of moving. Now, our focus music is we're able to sit and concentrate for 30 minutes on a productive task, on a task that will help us elevate to that next level, help bring our future self into our current state. It'll help extrapolate all that we want and all that we need into where I am today. You are now calling your future self to your present self. It takes time. That's why it's 30 for 30. It's not something you can do overnight, but it is going to build a habit. That's what you're building, is a habit. So focus music, that focus music needs to be 30 minutes of playlists. Now, here's what I've done. I've kind of shortcutted the process. I went and built out a playlist for myself. Hans Zimmerman. I've listened to Hans Zimmerman's playlist off of Spotify for as long as I can remember. It's the same music. It doesn't change. Now, I've added a few things, right? I've added some soundtrack music, but my brain knows the pattern. And my brain also starts to recognize that this is a focused music. So everything up to this point, we have now begun to put ourselves in this flow state, in this motion state, in this is now happening through me and not to me. We're now switching our brain and our mindset. This is happening through me and not to me. I need you to understand this. When I started to recognize what I was going through was happening through me and not to me, my brain and my mind started to open up and started to build something new and beautiful. And it was at that moment I knew that somewhere in the future, I'd be able to help. I'd be able to help grow, and I'd be able to help push, and I'd be able to help inspire. Because of my own story, people would understand what I went through. I went through what I needed to go through, because through me, those of you now that have bought this and are watching this, you want that change like I wanted that change. So first thing we're going to do is develop your hype music. You need to find that song that you can listen to that puts you in that space. Once the song is over, you need to find the focus music. It could be anything. It could be sounds of the nature. It could be the washing of the ocean waves. It could be birds chirping. It could be classical music. It could be stories. It could be something that just causes you to focus. Once you're in that focus state, you're going to execute the task of that day. Now, on all of your phones, you have what's called a do not disturb function. My suggestion is going to be that you cancel all notifications unless they're from an emergency person. My wife is the only one that I will allow to come through when I'm recording, because she knows that I'm in the process. But I know that if she needs to get a hold of me while I'm recording, it's something of emergency. So go into your phone, put you on the do not disturb for 30 minutes while you listen. You could set it to where your children are the only ones that can get through. You could set it to a babysitter. You could set it to the important people, okay? Because for 30 minutes, they should be able to be okay for 30 minutes. You should be able to take care of yourself for 30 minutes. Now, here's the higher functionality of this, which is tell those that are important to you, I'm going to be studying for 30 minutes. Please do not bother me. I'm trying to build myself. I'm trying to elevate my mind, my body, my soul, so my beauty, both my outward and inward, can be a reflection of all that I am building anew. When you help others understand your process and what you're doing, they will respect you. They will admire you, and they will support you. And if they don't support you, it's time to move on. Do not allow them into your circle. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is establish a beautiful playlist. What does it look like? You're going to establish your hype music. What does the hype music do for you? How does it move you? How does it put you in motion. We're going to hit that frontal cortex, the reticular activated system. That's what we're going to look at. RAS. How is that getting you prepped and ready? How is the bell going off? That is the first song that you're going to put in. And then you're going to build that secondary playlist. If you're like me, keep it simple. Just type in Hans Zimmerman, click on it, hit play, and it will have, it's over an hour of music. Then you get into that focus space for 30 minutes for 30 days. This is the beauty of what we're setting up for. That is process number 1, build the hype music. Process number 2 is the body needs a habit. The body needs to know that there are certain times during the day that you cannot be bothered, you cannot be interrupted. Certain times of the day that, just like everything, we eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or you eat a snack, right? You have those times of the day that you've set aside to say, this is when I'm going to eat. It's the same way of this principle. Every single day, at the same time, you are going to execute your 30 for 30. It doesn't deviate. You will hold yourself accountable. You're going to hold yourself accountable. Alarms on all of our phones, wherever they may be, whatever phone or operating system you have, it will go off. Here's what you need to do. You set a 10-minute alarm, a 5-minute alarm, a 2-minute alarm, and then it's go time. Why? Because we're conditioned to hit snooze on our phones. We're conditioned to hit ignore on the alarm. So how are we going to get through this? Those of you that are just starting out, it is imperative that you follow this process. 10-minute alarm, 5-minute alarm, 2-minute alarm, and then it's go time. And the reason why we have that, 10-minute, you should start to wrap up whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, so 10 minutes, you're going to wrap up. When the 10-minute alarm goes, we call wrap up. It's your wrap up time. Wrap up whatever it is that you're doing. 5 minutes, you're going to go get a drink of water. You're going to get up, you're going to walk around, you're going to get ready. 2-minute alarm, you are now starting to get your hype music. You're getting what you're focusing on. It's already laid out. The process is there, right? You're ready to study. You're ready to focus. And then it's go time. Boom. Hype music goes. You get in. Now you are going to learn that you can act silly. We'll call it act a fool. Nothing wrong with that. I act a fool all the time. I hit play. I know the song. That's the crazy. I know the song. But you're going to get that music. You're going to get that motion. You're going to go and you're going to bob and you're going to feel it. Your elevation, your testosterone's going to come up. You know, bang on your chest, jump around and get ready and get hyped. You're going to get chills like I have right now. Chills all in your body. Your mind's going to go and you're going to get focused. You're like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. You are ready to attack whatever that is that you were working on. Whatever part of the 30 for 30 you're on, you're going to get hyped. You're going to get ready and you're going to get excited to go. You're going to start to almost salivate because you're excited. Because when it goes off, boom, you know it's focus. When that song goes off and you're completely in the state of it is time to crush my goal, myself, and who I am right now, where I'm at. I'm going to crush it. Nobody's going to hold me back. When the hype song is done, boom, goes right into that focus song. And then you're going to take whatever it is in that plan, whatever the part of that day, wherever we are, wherever you are in this 30 for 30, your body is going to absorb everything at an elevated level, at a level you've never experienced before. And this is going to be the process for 30 days. 30 minutes for 30 days. That's how it's going to work. Now, when you're done with the 30 minutes, the music should be your indicator. And we'll talk about that in a second. The music will be your indicator. When you are done, you're going to close up. You're going to stand up. You're going to take a deep breath in. You're going to raise your hands high as you can. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose for 4 seconds. And you're going to hold it for a count of 2. And then you're going to breathe out as hard as you can while lowering your hands. You're going to say, I love myself. 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 You're going to do that for a 4 count. If you don't think what I'm telling you I've done before, let me watch this video real quick. That video was in front of 130. That video right there was in front of 130 entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are just starting out, to all the people who had at least 10 million a year. I do not deviate. You have to reset the brain. You have to reset and say, I've closed this chapter, what I just did, reset my brain. You breathe in, hands as high as you can, hold it for 4 seconds. And as you breathe out, you're going to say, as you lower your hands, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And you are resetting your brain. Once you have done that 4 times, you're going to walk outside and stand in the sun for 10 minutes and just allow the sunlight, the vitamin D, to absorb into your body. You are going to allow yourself to completely refresh, and then you are going to start to think. Take your phone with you. Obviously you will. Because as you're standing there, things will start to come into your mind. Things will start to enter. Thoughts, impressions, emotions, all of that is start going to come. You will hit the little microphone on your phone, whatever device you have, and you will record your sayings. You're going to speak your sayings, record your sayings, speak your sayings, not typing. Because if you type, your brain is moving faster than what your hands are. So you're going to record your sayings into your phone. You're going to record what it is, anything, everything. Man, I felt great. Man, I was weird. Man, I was trying to stay focused. Man, I don't know what the heck I was doing. Man, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Man, this program was a ripoff. Man, whatever it is, you're going to speak into the phone. And then when you're done with that, you're going to put the phone and just not worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. There will be a point during the day or when you wake up in the morning that you want to go back and revisit and listen to what you're saying into the phone. There'll be a point when you want to go in and listen to what you have said in the phone. More importantly, you are going to listen how you said what you said into the phone. You're going to hear the positive stuff. You're going to hear the negative stuff. You're going to hear the BS stuff. You're going to hear the truth serum. You're going to hear the stuff that'll make you smile, stuff that'll make you cringe, stuff that'll be like, what am I doing? Then you will ask yourself questions. Why am I being negative to me? Why am I allowing myself to be negative? Why am I allowing myself this portion of my life that I will not give a fair shake at this? Why am I allowing myself to listen to the negative thoughts in my brain and in my mind? Why am I allowing myself to feel positive, to feel energetic? And listening to myself, I can hear myself. I can hear that change. And as you listen to yourself, I want you to write down things that are impressions to you, because you'll find it. Those impressions are your future self being brought to your current space. Those impressions that you have are going to be your future self being brought to your present self. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am that you are trying to build a better life for you. In turn, as you build your life better, it will filter out to your posterity or your generation. And as it filters out to your posterity and your generation, you will start to build yourself and be ready and allow yourself to feel loved and feel appreciated. I said love and appreciated. You will feel that for yourself. I do. I love myself more now than I have ever loved myself before. I have fought demons, really, really deep demons. And those demons know where they live. Because I worked on myself. I went to hardcore therapy to get through some of the trauma that I had been through in my life. Not just in my adult life, but my childhood. We'll talk all about that throughout this course. But I love myself more today than I ever have before. And I allow the hot wife, yes, this hot wife, this beautiful vessel, this beautiful child of God, this beautiful woman, I love her. And I allow her to love me because I love myself more every single day. This is my beautiful family. These are my beautiful children. We are a blended family. But because I took the time during 2012 to 2014 to hone in and find who I am, generations are now going to be blessed. This is the introduction. This is the start. This is the hype music and the focus music. I'm so excited that you are here. I'm so excited that you took this time to invest in you. Because what you're going to get, 30 days, 30 minutes, a punch in your face to realize just because you started from somewhere doesn't mean that is the road will take you to where you want to go. The process to become better is to take that first step in allowing you to feel love, to feel important, to fix your mind, to fix your body, to fix your soul, and to fix your beauty. Your Hózhó waits for you. Let's go. Let's crush it. Let's become that version of you that is ready to explode.